Hello all, welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. This is Vinay Kumar, Faculty of Sociology and Society at Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. In today's session, we are going to discuss about paper 1, GS1 of UPSC Mains in Indian society. What were the questions which has been asked and how to address those questions? And I always say this to the students. UPSC question paper is a question paper for the people who are writing mains, but the people who are preparing for UPSC, that like in the next year they are going to give UPSC attempt, through this paper UPSC want to convey a message that how you are supposed to prepare. So it is this paper for the aspirants who are giving mains. It is a question paper for the people who are aspiring to become a civil servant or who was planning to give this civil services in the next year. So it is a paper through which it is trying to help you, trying to convey you how you have to orient your preparation. So for the students who have given mains this time, I have taught them society also in the before mains also. In my I have taken a special sessions like what might be the prospective questions in society, what can be the questions which you can expect. Okay, looking at the trend, you can easily analyze what type of questions can be asked. See, in India, not only in India, all over the world, youth awareness has been increasing. Okay, youth awareness has been increasing. Youth are becoming more aware. Okay, that is the reason why there is a concept of wokeism. Okay, there is a concept of wokeism which is emerging in the society where awareness amongst the young generation is happening. So I emphasized on this aspect. Definitely youth related questions, adolescents or youth related questions would be asked in the question because of Nepal protest and all. So this in GS1 in society, they asked a question on impact of globalization on youth. Okay, then every year there would be a question on caste system. Every year the question on caste system would be on the lines of whether transformation of caste system, how caste is interacting with the democracy, role of caste system, so this type of questions. So this time they asked a question on how caste system is interacting with how caste system, is caste system significant in urban areas? Okay, so that was a question. So on these lines, so what can I say is, I want to convey this message that Indian society is that area in UPSC which is a low hanging fruit. You can easily grab this area if you spend at least 30 to 40 hours of your preparation. Okay, if you listen to 30 to 40 hours of my classes and if you give very minimum amount of time to society, you can easily score. In today's paper I saw 90 marks are from society. So where 4 questions of 15 marks were being asked and 3 questions of 10 marks were asked. And weightage, keep aside weightage. The point is the beauty of Indian society. Why this is very important is predictability. You can easily predict these questions. Okay, question on caste system, question on unity in diversity. Okay, unity in diversity, very simple question has been asked. Okay, then demographic transition, very simple question has been asked on demographic transition. Okay, so briefly we will be looking into all these questions. So first we will be starting our discussion on what was so 8th question was, okay, so 8th question was unity in diversity remains the defining feature of Indian society despite the challenges from communalism and regionalism. So very simple question, comment. Okay, first of all, what is unity in diversity? Unity in diversity, how the unity in diversity is a salient feature of India. So unity in diversity is an idea which is promoting oneness and solidarity amongst the India. Unity in diversity is an idea which is promoting the oneness and solidarity amongst the India despite so much of differences like region, religion, caste, okay, cultural differences. Amidst all these differences, unity in diversity is one idea which is promoting that solidarity and oneness. Okay, so that is why unity in diversity, because of unity in diversity, unity in diversity is promoting, unity in diversity is promoting that oneness and solidarity, and this unity in diversity is showing the strength of India in terms of its pluralism, its composite culture. Okay, so now you need to introduce unity in diversity in such a way. So how unity in diversity has been a salient feature of India, how it is promoting oneness, how it is promoting salient feature, and remains the defining feature of Indian society. So what are the defining features of unity in diversity in India? So constitution, the constitution is promoting this diversity, this unity in diversity. The India's rich civilizational heritage is promoting this. Economic interdependence is promoting this unity in diversity. Okay, emotional interdependence is promoting this. Composite culture is promoting this. Pluralism is promoting this. So in this question, as the question has been asked for 10 marks, you need not write all these things. Just define what is unity in diversity, how unity in diversity is promoting this oneness amidst so much of difference, amidst so much of diversities in India, religious diversity, cultural diversity, language diversity, and write down the defining features of unity in diversity in Indian society, like constitutional identity, cultural identity. All these things are promoting unity in diversity. So after that, so you can write that what are the defining features of unity in diversity. After that, you say, like, when it comes to this unity in diversity, yes, India has some challenges with respect to unity in diversity. Regionalism is adding as a challenge to unity in diversity. Like communalism is adding as a communalism is adding as a challenge to India's unity in diversity. Rising fundamentalism is adding as a challenge. Okay, regional disparities is adding as a challenge. So you can say that communalism is nothing but using any social traditions. Using the social traditions, how you are polarizing the masses for your political benefits. How politicians are using religion to polarize masses, how politicians are using caste to polarize masses. So how communalism is adding as a challenge to unity in diversity? Definitely because of communalization. Definitely it will be polarizing the masses, and it will be adding a threat to integrity of India. So that you write down. How regionalism, how if at all there is a regional inequalities, regional disparities between states, okay, between regions, and how if regionalism is rising, definitely it will be a threat to unity in diversity. So write down two or three points about how the challenges of communalism, 2 or 3 points about the challenges of regionalism, and through that you can justify that. In conclusion, you have to write that India, the 80 years of independence is a testimony to the fact that India is shining bright in the world because of its spirit in upholding unity in diversity. Yes, in India, there are some challenges with respect to this unity in diversity, but these challenges could be could be overcome in India by promoting the spirit of oneness, by promoting this solidarity. That this way you can define this, you can write this question, very simple question. Okay, so this is the first question. Second question is, how do you understand disability and substantiate the need for inclusive policy framework, in India in this regard. So now we need to talk about, when you look at this question, what do you understand by disability? First we need to address what is disability, and when we define disability, and when we have to throw light on understanding disability. It is not just you have to define disability, you have to understand the dimensions of disability, and then you have to write the need for having an inclusive policy with respect to disability. So what is disability? How do you define disability? Is when a person who is when you're writing about definition of disability, so disability refers to physical, mental, cognitive impairment which is creating a barriers of that individual in enjoying the facilities at par with other people. Okay, so this cognitive impairment, mental impairment, or physical impairment is creating barriers in enjoying his rights, complete rights. So that is how you first try to define disability. After that, when you are talking about disability, the question here is very interestingly asking about the demand of the question is not about a defined disability. The point is you have to understand disability. So understanding disability is that you have to understand that the disabled people are not only facing physical barrier, mental barrier, or emotional barriers, or cognitive barriers. Actually, the disabled in Indian society are facing social barriers. The social acceptance towards these disabled people is one of the major challenge. The social exclusion of these disabled people is one of the major challenges. So that is the reason why when it comes to United Nations Conventions on Protection of Rights of Children with Disabilities, have said that disability is not a physical challenge alone. It is a social barrier, and it is also, you have to look at disability, you have to understand. You understand my point? We are talking about this understanding. You have to understand disability not from just people who are facing physical barriers. You have to understand disability from social justice aspect, and you have to understand them from what are the social barriers they are facing. Like you see, like in regular schools, they are not being given admissions. Okay, children are not getting along with the people with disabilities. So there is a mocking which is happening. So you have to understand them from social justice aspect and social barrier aspect. So here it is asking about how do you understand disability. So when you are looking into disability, you have to not only look from medical model, you have to look from social model of disability. along with medical model, you have to look from social model, and you have to look from, very important, you have to look from rights based approach. Don't look disability, don't understand disability just from welfare oriented aspects. That is the major problem in India. So there is a policy overhauling which is needed. There is a policy overhauling which is needed, but through which we need to understand, through which we need to make sure that disabled people are the individuals who possess the rights. Don't think that, don't look from the welfare orientistic aspects. Achha, there are people with disabled, we have to promote these welfare measures. No, the approach of the government towards disabled should be that they are the citizens with rights, and it is the responsibility of Indian government and the constitution to uphold their rights. So these modules, when you understand disability from these modules, then by default outcome is nothing but it will lead to inclusive policy framework. So that is the reason why you see Government of India, that is the reason why you see Government of India recently has taken so many measures with respect to upliftment, empowerment of disabilities, like Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, Rights of Persons with Disability Act was amended, and initially we had only 7 criteria of disabilities that has been expanded to 21. So we identified different types of, we added more types of disabilities. Okay, then Government of India is including, we have taken affirmative actions whereby we are promoting reservations. So this is what is inclusive, promoting reservations. Next, we have taken measures with respect to Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. Okay, so these measures, Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan. Next, we also talked, Government of India recently we were talking about giving a unique identity number. Okay, unique identification number to persons with disabilities. So that these all things are a welcome measures in promoting inclusivity, and very important is we need to promote economic integration. Okay, so digitalization, we have to make sure that digitalization, digital inclusiveness of disabled should be promoted. So recently in Supreme Court there was an issue with respect to this, like people with special abilities cannot, this judgment of Supreme Court is very much important in this context. You need to write that. Like Supreme Court in a judgment said that it is not it is the responsibility of the government to make sure that the welfare measures which is been targeted for the disabled are reaching them, rather than it is a prerogative or it is a responsibility of the people to fulfill, to register that. See, what happened was, like when you are distributing welfare measures, like this authentication is needed, like fingerprint and iris scanning, biometrics are very much important. But people with special abilities are, like when people are, their hands are amputated, so they cannot give fingerprints, and when someone is blind, so their iris scanning might be an issue. So such a type of technical problems was there, and government, when Supreme Court has highlighted that because of these authentication factors, many people with disabilities are not able to get the welfare measures. So Supreme Court has clearly given a direction that it is a responsibility of the government not only to give welfare measures, but also it is a responsibility of the government to make sure that they are included properly in the welfare fold. Okay, so that in that you have to emphasize that. So that is the reason why this aspect, rights based approach, if in your answer, if this aspect is being emphasized, so there is a high chance that you would get more marks. Okay, next question is third question. Do you think digital technology promotes, do you think digital technology promotes social empowerment? Explain with definitely. Digital technology, does it promote social empowerment? Okay, so what is social empowerment? Social empowerment is the marginalized sections or the vulnerable sections should be socially, economically, educationally, or their status in the society should be improved. So all we are talking about marginalized sections or vulnerable sections, their life have to be better. So that is what is social empowerment dimensions. So in this upliftment of vulnerable sections, what is the role that a digital technology has been playing? For that matter, you see earlier street vendors is also socially socially marginalized communities. Okay, so because of digital inclusions and because of government promoting schemes for street vendors, when in every district headquarters there is a special area which is been allotted to street vendors. Okay, so don't you think this, and by promoting this UPI apps, so and by promoting this UPI apps, definitely you see more awareness has been created, and by promoting this digital payments, so their upliftment has become, so they are able to manage the resources effectively. So earlier when there were no digital technologies, they don't do proper accounting also, they don't know how money has been distributed. So in any areas, in any marginalized sections, for that matter, when we are talking about like because of digital technologies in lower strata, like in lower strata sections of the society, like where SCs and STs were there, because of digital technology, now we see better healthcare is been promoted. Okay, now like in remote villages, education facilities has been promoted. So because of digitalization in India, almost all the remote villages have been digitally connected, and because of that, you see smart classrooms are reaching every places. So even the primary schools were being digitally enabled, so such that they are listening, they are watching different documentaries. So that is happening. And you see, for that matter, if someone who is not having access to quality education, like recently Narendra Modi on the eve of independence speech, he announced that we will be making sure that competitive coaching institute material or competitive coaching classes will be provided free for all the sections. Means nothing but if you just have a mobile phone, and if you have a mobile phone connectivity, you can prepare for competitive examination wherever you want. So digital technology promoted social empowerment. You can give examples. One is primary healthcare, in remote areas, healthcare facilities has been promoted. Like if in case like a doctor is not able to come to remote areas, at least through video call, they are trying to look, and they are trying to give counseling to the patients. Okay, primary healthcare education has been improved. Okay, and clearly because of digital awareness, farmers are able farmers are able to realize which soil, which seeds are needed, and which type of fertilizers are needed, which type of seeds to be sown, that have been promoted because of Kisan mechanisms. Okay, so awareness has been created, and because of digital awareness, the welfare schemes are reaching the desired people. Earlier, because lack of awareness, so many schemes were being appropriated by wrong beneficiaries. So digital technology promoted social empowerment. You can give so many examples, but like this is a 10-mark question. You need to write that this aspect also have to be written. That aspect, that which aspect is like, although we see unequal digitalization which is happening, which is hindering, means nothing but in India definitely there is a digital divide. So the rate at which digital technology has been penetrated into the urban areas, the rate that has not been reached to rural areas. So that is the reason why. So we need to take this point into a consideration, that a digital divide is acting as a hindrance to social empowerment. To reap the true benefits of digital technologies, we need to address this digital divide. Okay, so this is how you need to go about this question. So do you think digital technology promotes social empowerment? Comparatively, compared to last 2 years question, this year, last 2 years question, there was so many open-ended questions. Okay, this year mostly there is a convergence view towards the issue. Okay, so you need to write one side. You can incline in this aspect. You can incline more towards one aspect. Whether okay, so convergence approach can be followed. Like if at all there is an open-ended questions, you need to balance convergence viewpoint and divergence viewpoint equally. But here, more or less, when there is an positivistic orientation in the question is there, so you can use convergence approach. Next, fourth question: linguistic reorganization of Indian states was driven by popular pressure from below. Comment: linguistic reorganization of Indian states was driven by popular pressure from below. So the question is saying that the linguistic reorganization of states which happened in India was majorly driven by popular pressure from below. So you can consider this question from history point, or also in society also, because of linguistic diversity. You can discuss from society perspective also. Definitely, in India, linguistic reorganization of start. Question is trying to say that, so the demand for reorganization of states on language, demand for reorganization states on language basis emerged from below, means from the masses. Yes, that is the reason why you see initially the reorganization of states on language basis was, who promoted that? Initially the first idea of reorganization of states on language was given by Balagangadhar Tilak in his Home Rule League. Home Rule League movement. And this was carried forward by Indian National Congress. So Indian National Congress initially accepted Okay, in Indian National Congress initially accepted provincial committees, on language basis. Later, Indian National Congress initially it accepted provincial committees on language basis. Later, Indian National Congress also passed a resolution saying that we are in favor for reorganization of states on language. Okay, so this was the demand which was there from the masses, and this was the historicity to that. Okay, after that, after India got independence, government of India government of India appointed JVP committee. Next, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Pattabhi Sritaramaiah committee. Next, SK Dar commission. First, SK Dar commission was appointed. Next, SK Dar commission was appointed by Constituent Assembly. Next, JVP committee was appointed. Next, Fazal Ali commission was appointed. Although SK Dar and JVP committee in principle did not accept language as a basis for state reorganization, Fazal Ali commission in principle accepted that language can be one criteria on which you can divide the states. But in principle, he said that he rejected like one language, one state. But Fazal Ali said that yes, one state can have a language, but one language should be having one state. So that has been rejected. So okay, Fazal Ali commission recommended that. But in Andhra Pradesh, when you look into the history of Andhra Pradesh, that Potti Srinamulu has undergone a fast for 58 days, hunger strike. So because of that, the demand of reorganization the demand for division of state on the basis of language has intensified. And because of his sacrifice, the first reorganization of state on the basis of language happened. And this clearly shows that it is mass movement, it is the demand which is coming from the masses which led to the emergence of reorganization of states and language. So this is how you need to address this question. Okay, so linguistic reorganization of states was driven by popular pressure from below. You need to write about how first state Andhra was formed based on this demand for reorganization on the basis of language, which was a popular pressure. And because of that only Nehruji accepted this Andhra as a first state, okay, based on language. So this you have to write. Next, what is the next question? Okay, this question is caste disappearing in urban India? Illustrate your answer with example. Illustrate your answer with examples. Generally, it is perceived that caste is a rigid hierarchical structure or a social stratification which is perceived to be a phenomenon of rural India. Okay, that is the reason why, thinkers, scholars like Ambedkar, scholars like Jyotiba Phule, they said that when we increase the urban life, this caste type of rigid social traditions will be declined in the society, and by promoting urban way of living, by promoting urbanization, what we see is, we see the society would transform from rigid hierarchical rigid hierarchy which is present in rural India would be transformed into egalitarian society. And this was perceived by Ambedkar, Jyotiba Phule and many thinkers. Many perceived that. But what is happening in India, what is the reality in India is the caste-based rigid hierarchy which is present in the rural areas, which is also being replicated in the urban areas. How it is replicated in the urban areas? The same Dalit ghettoization is happening in the villages. Dalit ghettoization means like how Dalits were living in rural areas, like in rural areas, if this is a temple, okay, outskirts of surrounding the temple, there will be upper caste, okay, and after that you have other caste, in the outskirts you have Dalits. So same type of differentiation in urban areas, if it is a prime location, okay, prime urban area, okay, here you have upper caste, and on the outskirts, okay, on the outskirts you have slums, and more than 95% of the slums, people who are living in urban slums are SCs, STs and OBCs. This clearly sees that what is the social structure which is there in rural India is been reflected in urban India. And in rural areas, the political power is enjoyed by majority of the upper caste. To the statistics is proving that in urban governance, whether it might be in whether it might be in urban governance, whether it might be in state level urban governance, or whether it might be district level urban governance, okay, in all the metropolitan cities, the major power is enjoyed or appropriated by upper caste. You hardly see any Dalit leader enjoying good position in urban administration, whether it might be city mayor, whether it might be so in such type of post. Majorly you see all over India, it has become a prerogative that upper caste are enjoying the high positions in urban local governance also. And you see still now in India, in urban areas, the welfare measures are reaching to different regions in urban areas based on caste. If a upper caste is living in that area, the welfare measures or the governance, urban governance is so structured. The where urban area, where rural, where SCs, STs are living or Dalits are living, you see there is a sanitation issue. There is an issue of misgovernance. The welfare schemes are not reaching. So this clearly shows that the traditional notions of caste system like purity and pollution, the caste discrimination or exclusion which were there in rural areas is been reflecting in urban areas. So that is a reason why we see in urban areas the caste discrimination has not been declining. Rather, caste has transformed itself into a new phenomenon in urban areas. You see, in urban areas, in rural areas also endogamy is present. In urban areas also there is endogamy present. Yes, you can write this point. The social traditions, the traditional notions of caste system, the rigid notion of caste system which was present in rural India to with that same intensity might not be there in urban India. But it is true that caste is not disseminated in urban areas. Caste atrocities, caste discrimination, caste is a reality even in urban societies. So this is how you need to write this question. Okay, so this is a very easy question. Okay, so in caste system, we generally, when we are talking about when I was talking about transformation of caste system, I discussed about all these aspects in our classes only. Okay, next question is critically examine the challenges of demographic transition in contemporary India. So critically examine the challenges of demographic transition. So demographic transition means how the demography, the population is changing. Okay, so when you look at, sir, like, is it a question in society or is it a question in geography? Because in paper 1, geography is also there, society is also there. So here you see, critically examine the challenges of demographic transition in contemporary India. So definitely here they did not ask about, to make this question as a from social perspective. Okay, you need to look in this demographic transition as not from the perspective of statistics. Okay, don't give importance to just statistics alone. Okay, whether population is increasing, whether population is decreasing. Okay, but look these demographical transitions as a social mirror in the present society. So you need to understand how this society is transforming, how the population is changing. Just don't understand. When you have to look from geography perspective, you will be saying that, acha, this is the life expectancy has increased this much. So this much is the population, 140 crore is the population. Compared to previous census, this much population has increased. Okay, sex ratio is this. So from society perspective, you need to make sure when you are writing an answer from society perspective, give less importance to statistics, give more importance to social significance. Based on the statistics, you have to develop that sociological perspective. Okay, so what is the demographic transition which is happening in contemporary India? Like, there are demographers. Some people talked about 4 stages of demographic transition. Some talked about 5 stages of demographic transition. Okay, so there are different demographers. I don't want to go into the details, but one thing is clear. You have to write that in India, earlier, before independence or in early independence, we have high death rate and high birth rate and high total fertility rate. But now in the contemporary context, we see declining death rate, okay, and declining birth rates, and total fertility rate, total replacement fertility rate in India, according to National Family Health Survey, ideally it should be 2.1, but in India it is 2. Now we have to analyze this aspect. Okay, critically examine the challenges. So first we will be trying to say that in India, demographic transition is in 3rd stage, where like we are living in a phase where there is a declining death rate and declining birth rate, and total fertility rate is also below replacement fertility rate. And what are the challenges with respect to this? What are the challenges is, young population is more. 65% of the population in India are below 35 years. That is a demographic dividend India have. But if this demographic dividend is not converted into skill based, if we are not able to provide skills to them, if we are not able to inculcate skills, then definitely it is going to be a major challenge in India. Okay, next, Okay, so skills and demographic transition. We also saw like in some states like Kerala, Himachal Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, age-old population is increasing. So what are the measures we have to take? So elderly budgeting should be done. Kerala is the first state. Kerala became the first state to include elderly budgeting. So to the percentage of the population of elderly population, you are allotting that much amount in your budget. So what are the challenges? Elderly population, skills inculcation. Okay, and very important is this aspect also. Should India be worried that our total ideal fertility rate is 2.1, but that total ideal fertility rate has declined to replacement fertility rate is 2.1. But in India, the total fertility rate has come down to 2. Means definitely replacement fertility, if at all it is below replacement fertility rate, then it will make population unstable in a long while. So should we be concerned about it? Actually, the reports are saying that we should not be concerned about it. The reason why it is just below total replacement fertility rate is not because of social, it is not because of like different social factors. Majorly it is because of economic factors. Okay, economic factors is many couples are keeping financial insecurity as a major consideration in not giving birth to that. Okay, so that is the reason why in India gradually when economy grows, so automatically this would increase. So that was also been discussed. So this is also, these aspects you have to discuss, whether it might be how to increase the skill set of the people. Okay, demographic dividend, how to make sure that this demographic dividend would not become, how to make sure that it becomes a boon rather than a bane. Okay, how to make sure that, how to promote skill set, how to make them empowered. Okay, so this all the challenges, okay, increasing age-old population that have to be discussed. So all these aspects should be discussed in this. Okay, next question is, evaluate the impact of globalization on Indian youth with reference to social, political, economic and cultural sphere. So in the initial lecture I was talking about youth related questions were being asked a lot. Okay, why? Because I said no, because recently many youth led awareness campaigns were then, many youth led social movements were happening all over the world, whether it might be in Nepal, whether it might be in Europe. So youth led campaigns are happening, and for that matter, you know, youth have become, compared to previous generations, youth have become more aware. They are at every step they are asking for the accountability from the government. So this is happening. So evaluate the impact of globalization on Indian youth. So how globalization has impacted Indian youth? So what is globalization? Globalization is a phenomena where interconnectedness is been promoted by promoting free movement of goods, services, capital, people, okay, culture. So because of that, you see interconnectedness is developing, and because of globalization, the question is saying that how social globalization has impacted socially. See, very important is, many people tend to see that impact of globalization means how it has impacted positively. Impact, they did not say how globalization has impacted positively. Here the point of the question impact is, you have to write both positives and you have to write negative aspects. So positive aspects of social, how society has impacted positively, because progressive ideas from West has been transferred to India. Progressive ideas, gender equality, okay, discrimination, human rights aspect, animal rights, such a type of progressive ideas has been spread all over the world. So that is the reason why you see now gender equality is seen in every part of discussion. Everywhere we see discussions. So social awareness has been there. So progressive ideas has impacted the society positively, and definitely it has impacted the society negatively because of because of westernization. You see the culture, Western culture is replacing Indian culture, where like Western way of living is not giving importance to our traditional social norms. Okay, divorce rate is increasing. So such type of aspects. So that you have to write. Youth means not only, see here they did not ask about Gen Zs. Youth means someone who is below the age of 35. In those things. So that you have to write. So impact of in youth, you can also write about like secularization of marriage and de-ritualization of marriage. Okay, secularization of marriage, de-ritualization. It is big because of globalization only. Okay, people opting for live-in relationship, people opting for civil marriages, people opting for more divorces is also because of globalization. Next, political. Now, don't you think because of globalization, political awareness has been increased? People are becoming more aware. People are expecting more transparency. People are expecting more accountability. People are expecting the politicians should be aware about the people's rights. Okay, so that is the positive impact. Next, what is the negative impact is definitely there are some divisive forces which there are some external forces which always tries to divide the nation. So like you see foreign fundings which has been deliberately done. Recently FCRA is in the news. So foreign funding which is deliberately done to polarize the country. So because of among youth, they are very much easily becoming vulnerable to such type of foreign fundings and being indirectly being a part of it. Okay, and because of globalization only, in youth, in the name of modernity, this unhealthy lifestyles is been promoting. Okay, so that you need to write down. And when it comes to economically, because of globalization, how economically it has been there? Because of globalization, you see by studying in foreign universities, better employment opportunities are getting, better educational opportunities are able to get. So they are contributing, more remittances are coming from foreign countries. So that is a good thing. So India is one of the country which receives remittances from foreign nations. Okay, so receiving remittances is one of the major thing. And apart from that, in economic context, negatives of economic context is too much of dependency is increasing, and because of that you see what you say in the context of young population, like what is happening is too much consumeristic culture. We are being more commercial, developing this commercial way of living. We are becoming, are the youth of India are not becoming too materialistic? Okay, so that is one of the major challenges. So every time you have to write positives and negatives. And cultural sphere, definitely positive aspects of culture is like see, globalization is promoting because of among the youth, because of Western ideas, Western movie culture, Western things, Western way of living, Western way of life. Youth are positive aspects is youth are developing, they are becoming new entrepreneurs, they are following different diverse cultures, and diversity always adds beauty to India. Now negative aspects of culture, because of this you can write about this. Recently Narendra Modi also talked about this aspect, like impact of youth. You know, there is a concept called bhajan clubbing. What is this bhajan clubbing? Bhajan clubbing is nothing but like, instead of going for what you say pubs and parties, youth of India are gathering together and singing traditional and devotional songs, and this has become a new what you say new cultural symbol, new status symbol. Is it not? Because of globalization, in the Western countries we see such a type of social gathering that is becoming prominent. So you need to write about these aspects, bhajan clubbing, and negative aspects of negative aspects. You need to write about how homogenization is happening. So youth is blindly copying the Western aspects and all. So this is how you need to write. So have seen how broadly you have to address the questions. If you are able to write your answers on these lines, definitely out of you would get easily good score. So for the students who are aspiring in the next attempt, so through this video what I want to say is, clearly society is one such area to look forward, which is very easy, okay, which is very general. All you need to have is the society specific, sociology specific jargons needs to be developed, and when you use the jargons in your answer writing, when you have a broader understanding of the topic, you can easily do justice to this topic. Okay, so society is a easy area to score more marks in mains. Okay, thank you, all the best.